Peace. So I'm just waiting for anybody who may be joining the chat, who may be watching this later, to at least be able to get in the room. And then I'm going to be talking about how you can increase your fertility naturally. So I guess I'm just going to start by saying that, I went through a lot to make this video today. Okay, yesterday, if you were following me, I said that I was going to be making these videos come hell or high water, and hell has came and high water has came. Okay, it was so dark a few minutes ago that I couldn't even see myself, here where I'm making this video. Before that, my phone just decided to totally malfunction yesterday, and it still malfunctioned, but I was able to basically switch back to my old phone, which I kind of like this phone, so if I'm showing a little clearer, that's why. So when I say that hell has come, oh my gosh, and high water has come, it's raining. Luckily I didn't get caught in the rain to go with it, but I made it, and we are doing video number, this really should be video number 3, and video number 4 is coming also for today because of everything that happened yesterday. I was not able to post my live yesterday. So, well, let's just talk about what we're going to be talking about today, because we got a few things to go over to help you on your fertility journey. And first, we're going to be talking about why you think you cannot conceive. And we're going to be talking about how you can change how you think about that, how you can change how you think about fertility. And we're going to be talking about all natural treatments for fertility, all natural fertility treatments. We're also going to be talking about how to learn how to tell when you're ovulating. I'll just give you a brief intro into all that. And we're also going to be talking about practicing living a fertility-friendly lifestyle and being part of a fertility community. So before we get started, definitely go and check the description of my previous posts, or actually if you just go to my bio, you will see a link there on how you can basically get notifications for everything that I'm going to be posting throughout the week, and to help you stay on your fertility journey and to help you stay positive on this journey. So definitely go to the bio and do that. And also, I want you to turn on the notifications, right, for Instagram, so you can get to see my posts here on Instagram. And if you would be so kind to share this with 3 friends, one who may be struggling with infertility, one who may be thinking about infertility, and one who's not thinking about infertility or fertility. So definitely please do that for me, and then also stay tuned for the next 5 days where we will be continuing to post fertility information. So let's get started with what we're talking about today. So like I said, I'm doing this to kind of provide you with bite-sized information. So I have broke it down basically for you to be able to grasp it. So if this is still too much, follow me on Twitter. It's even in smaller bite-sized pieces, right? So for the next 7 days, this is just basically to kind of accelerate you into that, and then I may be slowing down after that. So how to eliminate, well, for one, we're talking about how to have a child naturally, how to naturally boost your fertility so you can have a baby naturally, as opposed to all the other methods, or the few methods that you probably have been told about, such as IUI or IVF, adoption, or surrogacies. For many women, that is not an option. And the birth rates are declining, and a lot of that is because people are just not as fertile as we once were. We're not doing a lot of the things, so I'm here to help you to do that. And one way to help you to do that is to eliminate why you think you cannot conceive, right? Because many of you have been told that you cannot conceive. Many of you believe that, right? So one reason for that is because we have adopted this Western mindset. And it's a lot of reasons why we have this Western mindset, obviously because we live here in the West, but also because of racism, slavery, colonialism, and all of that. We have adopted this Western mindset. And unlike what Kanye says, no, it's not a choice. We have been we've went to school, many of us. Many of us have received this information through the media, right? Through the news. and which includes media, but it also includes TV shows, cartoons, even all type of programming, and also through social interaction with other people who have been exposed to this same information. So this Western mindset is a very infertile mindset. It promotes infertility. It promotes is all of that, right? And where it does promote fertility or anything, it is really just to be used to basically keep the system going. And it needs slaves. It needs new slaves, right? So eliminate your Western mindset, right? We're going to be talking more about how to do that, right? But I just want you to basically meditate on that for now, and to be aware of that's the main reason why you think you cannot conceive, right? The next reason is because, of course, as a result of the Western mindset, we have a Western lifestyle. So by having a Western lifestyle, we are doing things and thinking things and being affected by things that affect our fertility, such as pollution, negative self-talk, being around people who influence us in certain ways, or just having these influences out there that affect our fertility, not being educated about fertility not being a very focal point of our lifestyle. So that all affects our fertility, right? So this Western lifestyle is something that we need to eliminate, we need to change, we need to tweak, right? So definitely meditate on that. We will go into that also in some other videos. But again, I just want to wake you up to that, right? So it's also no surprise that you receive a Western diagnosis living here in the West with our Western mindsets and so forth, right? And if you're given a Western diagnosis that you are infertile, or that you have unexplained infertility, or you have these other symptoms, that may tag along, such as PCOS or endometriosis or fibroids, right? Of course, for a lot of those things, they also tell you that there is no cure, no solution. You got to take this pill, you got to take this treatment, right? And so all of this can be daunting and stressful. And again, people look up to the doctors as being God, or, having basically knowing everything. And so this all affects us, right? So you need to get rid of your Western diagnosis. How do you do that? If you want more information, go and check out the blog I have on blackfertilitysecrets.com, where I go in a little deeper on that. But I just want to put that out there in bite-sized pieces for you here on Instagram or watching this on YouTube. The next thing is our infertile relationships. Or some of you may have an infertile relationship. I definitely don't, but you may have infertile relationships. And what I mean by that is, like, again, the person who you're with has more than likely been affected by the Western mindset lifestyle, and has probably heard about these diagnoses where, once they hear that diagnosis, they may no longer be helping you on your fertility journey because they have bought and sold what the doctor has told you or them. But they also may be infertile themselves. They may be struggling with infertility, male infertility, and also on another subconscious level, they may be doing things that are just not representative of somebody who's living a fertile life, or really on a fertile journey, and are taking fertility for granted or so forth, right? So being in an infertile relationship, it could be an abusive relationship, it could be a passive relationship, an aggressive relationship, just any relationship that basically doesn't support you conceiving a child. You got to think about that. You got to acknowledge that if your partner doesn't want to have a baby and you do, they're probably doing things to make sure you don't get pregnant, or if you don't want a baby and they do, you could be doing things to make sure that you don't get pregnant. So that's one thing that you need to get rid of and I'm not saying to get rid of your relationship, but what I'm saying is to acknowledge the infertile part about it and see if you can make changes there, right? And the next thing is neglecting our ancestral fertility wisdom and our intuition, because this is a very big thing, because a lot of times, our grandparents, or even great-grandparents, for some of you, our parents may have been sharing certain wisdom and intuition, or knowledge with us, and we may have bypassed it, and it just may have been an ill topic for us. It's something that we didn't want to hear about. So you know, you forget about it, you put it off to the side, or, you know, there may be things that our ancestors have done that they are still doing today in Africa, and we just see it as weird and it just doesn't make any sense. Why are they doing this fertility dance, right? Not knowing that some of those actions and activity actually boost fertility, right? So a lot of times we need to think about that, right? These are fertility ancestral wisdoms and knowledge that we may be neglected. And then we also have our own intuition. And hi to birth doula who just joined the live chat. We also have our fertility, our own intuition that tells us, well, you know, okay, I may be ovulating right now, or, you know, I'm feeling a little extra horny or frisky or whatever. Maybe I should have sex right now. And then, you know, because of whatever programming or misinformation you have received, you think you could just wait till later, or you can put it off, or, you know, you're just being silly, or, you know, you may be thinking that if you eat this fruit, it'll help you get pregnant, you know, all those things. But it's your intuition. And if you neglect that, that can really affect whether you can conceive a baby or not. So you want to get rid of just neglection of, you know, your ancestral knowledge and your own intuition. Don't do that, right? So the next thing that can help you prevent, or that is probably preventing you from having a baby, is actually thinking you have to, thinking that you cannot conceive. And so that again comes from just accepting whatever diagnosis has been told to you, or just negative self-talk and all of that, right? And then lastly, we also have thinking that you have to do it alone, because a lot of times when we want to have a baby, especially Black women, especially if you're young, you know that that's something that you either got to keep to yourself. Even if you're in a relationship, sometimes some women don't want to tell their partners because they don't want to hear their partner say, well, what are you going to do about it? Like, that's the last thing you want to hear when you tell somebody that you're pregnant is, well, what are you going to do? What do you mean, what are you going to do? What are we going to, what? Well, first of all, again, you probably want to definitely talk to your partner about this before, you know, you start having sex and intercourse, because you want to bring a baby into a loving relationship, or, you know, the best you can. You know, there's no guarantees and nothing is perfect in this world, but thinking you have to do it alone is definitely something that is not a reality. There is a wide, birthing community. There is a wide Black birthing community, right, that you can be a part of, get your questions answered, help you sort things out, right? So get rid of the mindset that tells you that you have to do it alone. If you have a fertile mindset, you will see the abundance of help that is here for you, right? So definitely get rid of those things, right, to help you to open you up, to begin to open you up to being able to conceive a baby naturally. Because if you carry any of that baggage, it can really affect you on a mental level, physical level, spiritual level, right, which can affect the outcome of whether or not you are able to really conceive a baby, and can also pass on to your baby and potentially affect, you know, their growth and development and emotional well-being and so forth. And we definitely don't want that. We want this baby to come into a blissful birth, right? And we know the world is like a wild world and a lot goes on here, but at least do your best to impart just bliss as much as possible, right? And just having a natural birth, hey, it's nature and everything's happen, right? But number 2, the next thing that you want to do to help you have a baby naturally is to change how you think about fertility. And one way, again, like I mentioned, is to join or be part of a fertility community, or to get fertility coaching. And I definitely emphasize the fertility community part, because that is what we have here. As many of you know, this message is brought to you by way of Black supremacy. If it was not for Kingdom of Black supremacy, this message would not be able to come to you as it is coming to you now. So I definitely revere and give all thanks and praise to being able to Black supremacy, Kingdom of Black supremacy, to be able to bring this message to you today, right? So you want to be part of a fertility community, a community that supports birth, a community that loves children, a community that basically wants to stay ahead of things and be at the cutting edge, right? And so we see the need for the increasing of the birth rate. And as I mentioned before, once a society goes below a certain number of children, they can cease to exist in as little as, you know, a very short period of time. And a lot of people don't know about this right now, but the Black birth rate has definitely declined. And of course, you know, we're not going by the statistics. I already talked about that in my other videos, but you don't play those games with us, basically. So we're here to help up it, right? So you want to be part of a fertility community, right? And that can help change how you think about fertility, because you're going to learn a whole bunch of information. People are going to be, putting you up on things, hinting things to you, giving you knowledge, wisdom, and information that you may not have got otherwise, right? And you're not going to get that from necessarily people who are part of just a regular society in the matrix and so forth, because they've been conditioned to accept the, one child policy. The one child policy is not just in China. In America, it might be more like a 2 or 3 child policy, but you better believe that there is a certain policy that is informally enforced, right? And I've spoken about that in my other videos and previous lives. So go and check that out. So getting a non-Western diagnosis can also dramatically change your mindset on how you think about fertility and why you may think you cannot conceive. If you get a non-Western diagnosis, like, that can just really open up doors for you and accelerate you into being able to conceive the baby that you want. But you have to be able to first get rid of all those things, eliminate all those other things that are blocking you, right? So getting a non-Western diagnosis, and then also being present and being in the moment, right? And seeing everything that is really fertile around you, seeing that life is fertile. So for somebody to tell you that you're infertile, it's like, you're not a mule. You know what I mean? Of course, if your organs are intact, functioning, then you may just have a few things off that you may need to figure out. Like I mentioned, a lot of people have not really fully learned about, when they ovulate and the ovulation signs and so forth. And even beyond that, other fertility beliefs, ideas, right? We just have this one Western one here. Oh, you ovulate on day 14 and 28 days cycle. No, that's not how it goes. It's a wider world, and it's a lot more belief systems and intuition and knowledge that people have to share with you, right? So definitely being present in the moment and seeing the fertility and the abundance of life around you, and becoming one with that, and venturing on that frequency, aligning yourself to that frequency of fertility, right, to help you to become more fertile, right? And I know it sounds hocus pocus and scary or whatever, but we definitely have the power of attraction, right? So you want to harness that. You want to be able to manifest that in your life, manifest fertility in your life. You want to be able to sync yourself with fertility. People are syncing their phones and their computers and all this stuff. Why not sync yourself with your fertility, right? So again, another way to change how you think about fertility is to let go of all those beliefs, ideas, and misconceptions that have been keeping you in this infertile state, or just have you thinking that, oh, it's over. The doctor said this, or the doctor said that, or, I tied my tubes. I can't, There is definitely a way for many of you to continue to have a baby if your organs are intact and you are very positive and you really want this baby, right? So the next thing is meditation. So meditation is like something that we definitely don't get enough of, right? A lot of times meditation, it can help you. It can help you to open up your mind to fertility, to see fertility in a different way, and to sometimes even get answers to your questions that you weren't really asking and didn't know that you had, and so forth, right? So sometimes some of you really just need to meditate a little bit, right? And the next thing is to also have a spiritual awakening experience. And I know that sounds like, okay, well, how do you do that, right? But even through just going on this journey of fertility, it can be an experience in and of itself that really accelerates you into becoming a more spiritual being, right? And I think sometimes we're even cut off from that by not revering fertility. You're cut off from spirituality by default, right? So tap in more into your spiritual essence. How many of you are spiritual? How many of you have left the church, and then once you left the church, You don't want to hear anything that has to do with any type of mysticism or any type of magic or any type of hope and wonder and faith, and all of that stuff. And like I fully get it, right? But basically, you want to shift that, because even if you feel like you've gotten rid of some of that stuff, you really more than likely have just replaced it with something else, because that is how we got the whole Christianity and all some of these other religions too. We replaced a lot of our ancestral worship, a lot of our worship of nature and so forth, right? So if you think you've gotten rid of it, some of you may be worshiping social media right now. Some of you may be worshiping celebrities, right? But what about just taking note again about fertility and, becoming more spiritually awakened in other ways, taking time to listen to your breath, to listen to your heartbeat, to just become in tune with nature and so forth, right? So those things can help you to have a child naturally, believe it or not. So the next thing is to try all natural fertility treatments, right? And I'm definitely go to the blog and where you could see how basically this can help you, and I will also be going in deeper into that. But just to overview, sometimes when you are seeking alternative natural fertility treatments, it requires you to go into your mental and emotional state of being that many of you probably have locked off and are hidden and need healing, right? So many of you are going to need some mental and emotional healing, right? You talking about bringing a baby into this world. Well, are you really ready? So we want to make sure that you are definitely ready. And another thing is knowing your constitution, right? And that's something that comes to play with getting a non-Western diagnosis. A lot of times they use your constitution to basically provide you with your own treatment and so forth, right? And that may also require you to do a fertility fast, a fertility cleanse, do some hormonal balancing that is very needed by many of you, which may be the main thing to unlock while you're infertile. You may also be required to go on a fertility diet, take fertility herbs, use essential oils that are good for fertility, to exercise, get acupuncture, acupressure, take certain healing baths, use crystals, smudging, or do some type of womb healing or so forth, right? So be open to that, right? To help you to conceive a child naturally. And you also want to learn how to tell when you're ovulating, and that definitely go and check out the blog for that. I'm not going to go too much into that here. Of obviously knowing when you ovulate can play a very key role, right, into helping you to be able to conceive a child. And then also practicing a fertility friendly lifestyle, and that requires you to basically take this seriously, right? And that may require you to track your fertility signs, track your ovulation, to start a fertility journal. And I definitely want to emphasize that a lot of you get a journal. So if you're watching these videos, make sure that you are working on getting a journal, or make sure that you get a pen and paper ready at least to start, right? And again, be prepared to do a 30 to 90 day regimen, right, before you actually want to have a baby, because some of you may need to do, again, like I mentioned, the cleanses and the fasts to clear your tubes and, do things like that, shrink fibroids, right? So make sure that you're ready for that to help you to have a child naturally. And also, again, number 6, I haven't been keeping up with the numbers, but again, being part of a fertility community, again, as I mentioned, right, that can help you take out all the guesswork, to help you to basically get more information and advice from either somebody who just has more experience than you or is an expert per se, right? And if you have people who are part of a community, you're getting like coaching magnified, right? So it's best to be part of a fertility community where you can have more than one coach, right? And the community just supports. So it's like fertility on steroids, if that's a good analogy. But it's fertility around the clock, right? And the next thing is, again, fertility community can help you with support, fertility support, or counseling that you may need, or and of course none of this is counseling according to the system or education or whatever, like as far as education system. I'm not talking about receiving a PhD based counseling or support or anything or expertise. Of course, an online community, you may have some of those people part of that, right? So this is not no medical diagnosis, or this is not a medical counseling or any of those type of things, right? This is basically just somebody who knows better, who has either been on that journey, is a little further ahead than you, or a lot further ahead than you, and is very supportive of you being able to have a child naturally, right? So a fertility community can help you with fertility treatment from a non-Western approach, and can also help give you recommendations to help you identify your progress. Some of you may want to know, okay, is this what it means if I'm ovulating, right? But if you're part of a fertility community, you can get an answer. It can help you get answers, and it can also help you to reduce stress that many women experience while they are trying to have a baby. So those are all the things that can help you to have a baby naturally. And of course, this is an overview. As you continue to follow me, I will go in further and deeper on each one of those steps that I've mentioned, right? So make sure that you at least begin to accept this and to help you to change your mindset, right? And for more information, you can definitely email me at blackfertility@gmail.com, and make sure that you turn on notifications on YouTube, turn on notifications on Instagram, and keep up with the lives, the blogs, the affirmations, the tips, the pictures, the news, the book reviews, the stories, and the videos that I will be posting over there. But mainly, definitely make sure that you sign up for my newsletter. The link is in the description. And if this video has been helpful to you, please make sure that you tag 3 friends, one who may be infertile, one who may be trying to have a baby, and one who may not be thinking about having a baby at all. So make sure that you look forward to how to stop thinking that you cannot conceive, which is going to be tomorrow. And there's also how to have a fertility mindset. Actually, I think that is what we're going to be doing tomorrow, is how to have a fertility mindset. We're going to talk more about that, right? So there are 5 more days of these live streams coming to you from Black Fertility on behalf of Black Supremacy. If you would like more information, definitely make sure that you email me, and I am, of course, open to whatever donations and support that you may want to help to share to continue to get this message out. If this is something that you really want to help support and want to see just helping more men and women to have more beautiful Black babies. So peace, and thank you so much for joining.